Hi there, this is Karen, and this is my buddy Whiskey Sour. If you're just tuning in today, I blog here every single day. I have for about the last 80 days or so. I've been doing daily vlogs and blogs since, oh gosh, okay, well, I've been doing blogging online for 5 years. And then I started doing a little bit more daily videos when I started the Public Playground project back in August. And then I kind of switched over to doing blogging about 3 months ago or so. So I'm here every day, boring you all to tears, I'm sure. But it's kind of my way to check in with you guys. I get really overwhelmed with email and communication, and so it's great to check in with you this way, and I love hearing your feedback and your comments and your thoughts and everything, because I get so much from you guys. I've learned so much from you over the years, so thanks for all your responses. Today I wrote a blog called "Are You Swallowing Poison Over Time?" I saw that they wanted to cut back on the fluoride in the drinking water due to kids having too much of it. They might not take into account things like every child in my family who tried to eat their toothpaste because they said it now tastes like candy. That might have something to do with kids getting too much fluoride. You know, when they kind of grab the whole tube and squeeze it over their mouth like it's icing from a cake or something, you know. But maybe we don't worry about things that are harmful over time, like little bits of fluoride here and there. We don't think about things like that being harmful. And if you read the ingredients on packages of your favorite foods, I bet you there's probably between 2 and 10 items that you either can't pronounce, you don't know the origins of, what it's used for, its potential damage, either immediately or most likely long term. And it's a bit easier to document a study on physical damage if something is scientific or touchable. We can identify it a little bit easier. What if we were to apply the same type of thinking to the things which we cannot see, which are still making us sick over time? And that's kind of the whole gist of my blog that I'm doing today. Relationship problems might hand out more poison over time during the course of our life than the external chemicals that are in our food. That's not to say we shouldn't be educating ourselves on what we're actually ingesting, but it's cross-canceled if we're still eating the small bits of emotional pain and emotional poison that's being ladled onto our plates every single day. For instance, you have a rapid fire of guilt or anger coming at you, and that can feel a lot heavier than everything that you've already endured up to that point. But if you were to total the accumulated guilt or anger or whatever you felt up to now, your lid might not fit on your blender. That's what's happened to me. We can sometimes think that we can put up with more guilt if it's given to us in bit-sized pieces. We might even think small bits are easier to recover from. You know, somebody's really mean to you today. They were only mean to you for a minute. I can, recover from that pretty quickly and move on with my life, and it's all fine. If they do it again to me tomorrow, and it's only a little bit, I can also put up with that, recover from it, and so forth and so on. But to me, it's on the contrary. I believe they act like small cancerous cells that are dispersed fairly evenly over our body. And that's the concern. Identifying, though, to me isn't the problem. I mean, it's great to identify it. But my concern is that most of us have already identified it. We already know what's hurting us. We already know what's killing us. But my concern is that we're okay with it. We've established it. We've identified it. And now we're just totally okay. We even laugh about it and make jokes about it. It's partly because it allows us to cope with the small bits of pain so that we can enjoy all the good parts of the thing that we are ingesting. So we make excuses for it. So if you eat some chocolate cookie, this is going to stop you from really going and grabbing a chocolate cookie now, isn't it? I just encouraged it. The best excuse to eat it is to tell yourself, somebody else is doing it. You can ignore the bad ingredients by laughing at how you can't pronounce them, just make a great big joke out of it. So you can simply consume the sweet parts without any extra guilt or anything going on. And this happens in dysfunctional relationships too. We excuse the bad behavior by cracking jokes about our partners so that we can continue in a less than ideal situation without being harmed by its poison. And if you receive these angry shots coming at you, or guilt trips, or any other unacceptable behavior in your relationship, if you receive them because they're bite-sized and easily digestible that particular day, you could possibly be ignoring the power, not the size, of these, what I consider cancerous growths. If you have finally decided that a bad relationship needs to end because you're finally feeling the poison and the poisonous effects from it, it might take a seemingly positive turn. Or the poison might just rush in like a river all at once. And in the case of guilt trips, for instance, you're ending a relationship and then all of a sudden this massive guilt trip gets poured on you at the end of it. You might not be able to handle how much poison is coming at you, so you just stay there. You just kind of give in order to alleviate that assault that they're giving you. And a heavy assault like that can make us think it was the first time that we were being poisoned, or in fact, we didn't see the tiny portions at every meal over a 5 or 10 year period. That's generally what went down, though. I think the same thing applies to every drop of poison that we let in our lives. You've heard me say this so many times, I feel like a skipping record. Gossip, bad-mouthing, hate, violence, these are all the other things which don't seem problematic when we have a 5-minute broadcast of something, or we read a really short article in the newspaper online, but they manifest over time. I believe that all these gossip, bad-mouthing, violence, angry, hate, all these things manifest over time, and they seep in and destroy our character without us even noticing, because they're just small bits of poison. They're just very edible, and you can take them a little bit at a time. And I know it's difficult when the poison escalates to this intolerable level. Our bodies sometimes tell us to go back and moderate the toxin, which throws us back into very unhealthy relationships. And it's just like, oh, it's okay, okay, you've guilted me into this, okay, I'll stay here, and you just forget about all the bad things that have happened, and just, there you are, thrown back into this unhealthy relationship again. But, the massive assault that just happened on you has been alleviated because you just stayed. So, and I think once we can identify what is destroying our character, we can ignore, we can be aware that it can kill us slowly, we can ignore the fact that it's killing us slowly, but we should be aware that it can be quickly or slowly. But remain decided. We should, even though we've identified this, we can remain decided that it is in fact poison and that it does have to be cut off. So if you're a compassionate soul, then this is the hard part I have, is that, I feel sorry for people. So if people are treating me bad and then, they kind of kiss up and make it all better, even though I know it's still totally unhealthy, I have this habit of just kind of, letting that back in and letting the process happen again, letting the bad habits, continue, and that it's harder sometimes to identify it. Or you just totally know, but you just let it happen anyway because of your level of compassion. And I don't think we have to lose our compassion for others when we set personal boundaries for ourselves. I believe we are intelligent enough to have both. I think, back to when I was saying about word power and how there's certain things we can word a certain way, and we can have kind of the best of both worlds. We can change the situation and still be civil about it, But man, I do love chocolate. It's like, I'm not big on eating toothpaste, but I do love chocolate. And I think sometimes some of these relationships we're in have their chocolate moments. They have those really sweet moments. And there's times that our partners are so nice to us, and it's so perfect, and there's the walks in the parks, or the walks on the beach, and there's camping, and there's fun, and there's, weekends, and laughing, and movies, and all those nice things that kind of keep us there, and keep us in it. And we should be looking for the good things too, and if it's worth it to us. But if there's so much poison that you feel your character just simply deteriorating, or you feel like you're going backwards in your life, or if you think that it's just harmful to your spirit, those sweet moments need to be looked at to see if they're worth ingesting. I just don't think it's worth it to harm your character that way. And I don't encourage anyone to just go break up with people. I love resolution, and I love when relationships can be healed and stuff too. But I hate seeing a person's character being poisoned just because it doesn't feel like it's worth it to them to fix it. So you gotta either fix it or leave it, right? You can't stay just continuously being poisoned. I saw an Edwin Lewis Cole quote where said, "Boundaries are to protect life, not to limit pleasures." And I think that's the fallacy in this, is that we think that these boundaries or these walls or these fences that we put up are supposed to keep everyone out and keep us in, and that's it, and that it's a wall. Whereas I think boundaries and walls are a little different that way. Healthy boundaries, what you will be willing to put up with, what you're willing to tolerate, will protect your character. And I don't think it numbs you to a point where you don't socialize with the outside world. I don't think that's what a boundary does. I think boundaries can be really healthy. I think you should be allowed to protect your character and say what's good for you. So I hate seeing people swallow all this poison over time, mostly because that's what I've done for the majority of my life. I've just taken in really small bits of poison that have hurt me. They've really hurt me over time. And one day all of a sudden you're just exhausted and tired and you don't know why, and you're emotionally drained and you're not sure why. And it was, if somebody says, well, what went wrong? And you'll say, well, what went right? Because you're not even sure about all these bad things that had happened. So I hope that whatever's going on with you guys, that you can identify and fix whatever poison is giving you those small cancerous growths that are dispersed evenly all over your body. Because it's dangerous. It's dangerous for us, and it does affect our health and our mental health, our physical health, all that stuff. So, if we can identify when that final guilt trip, gets poured on us, we can go, yeah, this is another guilt trip I'm going to put to an end. I'm going to make sure that this doesn't continue this way. So I will leave that with you guys today. And of course I will check in with you tomorrow, okay? Hope you're doing awesome. Everything's cool. From Whiskey Sour and me, I will talk to you guys soon, okay? Rock on.